What's going on, everyone? It's Ocelot Cyber here, and today I want to discuss what happens after you get CISSP. So I noticed that there's a lot of videos that pretty much go into getting CISSP or how to prepare for a particular big cert other than CISSP, but what happens afterwards. So based on my particular circumstance, and I'll go into that in another video, I was able to get a position as ISSO, or Information System Security Officer. And luckily, that was definitely something that I wanted to do since going into cyber and truly looking into the different aspects of cyber. Being ISSO in my particular situation is more along GRC, governance risk and compliance. And I noticed that there's also a lot of job descriptions out there, or positions out there, that specifically ask for ISSO. So what does an ISSO do? So basically, as an ISSO, you are pretty much underneath an ISSM, Information System Security Manager, and you are pretty much, I would say, the worker bee to the ISSM, in that you will be the ones that will be actually doing controls for RMF, the different cyber frameworks. Well, not necessarily RMF only. In the government, because I'm a contractor in the government, the U.S. government specifically, you primarily or exclusively will use the RMF. And I'm assuming in the private sector, you will probably use other frameworks like COBIT, ISSO, or ISO 27001 or 2701. I think I added another zero there. But yeah, so you'll be doing controls. You'll be making sure that people or members of your organization will have access to information systems, making sure everything is kosher, and you'll be under the manager who does the admin and make sure everything is working fine from their end, right? So specifically, without going into too much detail, in the government, you will be working with ATOs, or authorization to operate, or authorized to operate, I believe that's how the acronym goes. And basically, the ATO, or authorized to operate, or authorization to operate packages, is, long story short, within organizations you have different systems, IT systems or information systems, different applications that need to have these particular ATO packages to ensure that the organization understands the risk that that particular system or application has, and that they accept the risk, and that it's overall quote unquote kosher for that particular system or application to run on that organization's network, right? And that requires a lot of communication with other orgs, a lot of headaches, a lot of tedious paperwork. And yeah, I would definitely say that this particular position is a non-technical one. It doesn't mean that you don't have to know the technology. You definitely do have to know your basic IT. You do have to definitely know different technologies. But for the most part, yes, this is pretty technical, a lot of paper pushing. So I think if you are more of a hands-on person, like, this might not be the position for you, because it can get boring. But if it is your type of cup of tea, I think it's pretty decent. But I would say that the frustrating part is dealing with people, because a lot of people, different personalities, different timelines, different work ethics, and a lot of the times you're waiting on other people to finish their part before you can get to finish your part, and it can be much of a headache. But again, just to give a general overview, as an ISSO, you're creating packages to make sure that people are able to use whatever IT system or application as long as it's kosher within that particular organization or governing body, you're making sure people have access, your access to the network securely, making sure they're good to go, making sure that particular access to that particular system is good to go. You're doing general controls when you get those ATO packages. You're making sure that those particular items or those particular systems and applications are good underneath that particular framework, specifically the RMF if you're working for the DoD. And that's basically the whole encompassing of what an ISSO does, right? So if that's something that you think you would be interested in, I would basically recommend that you take the Linux guy, I think his name, no, the Unix guy. I forgot his actual name, but the Unix guy on YouTube, he has a course called GRC Mastery, which helped me a lot because I think a lot of the knowledge that I got from that course helped me with my job, or making me wind up faster to understand what was expected of me from that particular job. And yeah, I would say study up GRC. I would peruse, I think the three major frameworks right now are RMF, COBIT to a lesser extent, and ISO 270001. I would definitely look into those. Also with GRC Mastery, you also be taught underneath the ISO standard. So, and then once you peruse those three standards, the COBIT, ISO 270001, and RMF, I would pick one and try to master it as much as possible. You're not going to remember everything because each framework is huge, but as long as you know where to find each answer or where to find each particular solution that you're looking for, I think you'll be well on your way. And I would definitely look into doing projects. Like you could use risk registers and stuff. Like you can make risk registers, probably make a FAW company that has particular governance or lack thereof, and try to apply the techniques and strategies that you learn from GRC Mastery or from your personal studies, and you can build a portfolio that way. If you can't actually get a job as an ISSO or as a GRC analyst in the first place, projects and portfolios are your go-to. And I would put that on GitHub or some other website repository that you can have your portfolios that people can peruse through, or future employers or potential employers can peruse through, to make sure that you're good to go in that regard. But anyways, guys, do you have any questions, any concerns or thoughts? You can leave that in the comment section below. And yeah, that's all I have for today, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.